Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mauricio. Today, I want to discuss with you guys on how to be intentional with your website. It is very clear that websites are play a very important role for businesses. Is what people search for when they want to find out a little bit about us. I think is the thing that they go to beside your social media channels. So it is important that your website has a very defined intention of what your visitors can do in there, and not be cluttered with so much information, with so many options. They won't know what to do with it. So my intention today is to teach you how to be intentional with your website. Okay, one of the first questions I want to ask you is, what do you want to get out of your website? And that could be that could lead to a very broad answer, but I would really want you to think of a very specific thing that you want your website to do for you. And I've gotten so many answers from people that I build websites for. And one of the biggest things is that they say is, well, I want to make more money, right? I want to have presence on the web. Well, my friend has one, or my competition has a website, so hey, might as well just get one for myself, right? Well, those are not very specific reasons why to have a website, or specific things you want your website for you to do, because making a lot of money, everybody wants to make a lot of money, but having it a specific number, or having it a specific action you want people to take, it's key in the development of your website, or that your website is going to do for you. Okay, so you got to be very specific. Okay, think about that, and write it down in a piece of paper, and make sure you go to your website, look at your website and see if that's is that what you're actually getting from it, or ask someone else to look at your website and then ask them for a little feedback, and see that if what you wrote down is specifically what they're doing. Ask maybe 4 or 5 people to do it, or even 10 people, and so you can get a better understanding of what people are doing inside your website. Okay, another thing that I see from some of the people that I get websites to be redesigned, or some people ask me to create their websites, is that they give me a lot of information, and they want me to clutter their website with so much pictures and so much information, and it becomes very saturated. So one of the biggest things that you want to do is make sure that your website is nice, is clear, is using great images, not blurry, and pictures that don't make sense of why they're doing there. Pictures that actually make sense about your product and your service, right? You're not going to put a picture of your dog if you are an attorney, of course not, right? But if you're going to put a picture of your dog, maybe you do grooming for dogs, well then yes, it has something to do with your business. Also, putting TMI, too much information. A lot of people just want to put a lot of information in there, and they want people to read through it, through a bunch of words, and after reading all that, they want them to make a decision about either buying or subscribing, or purchasing a service, right? And they want their visitors to do that for them. In reality, most of the time, the sales is via phone or in person. I think you'll have a better chance of doing that. So giving too much information to people cannot be good for you. As a matter of fact, it can work against you, because people will see a bunch of words and they'll immediately click out of your website. So you need to declutter your website, make sure it's nice and simple, and then people can feel as if they don't have to work to dig out information, that you are clear in your message, and that you have a very consistent message throughout your website. You're not going to say you're do grooming for dogs, and then you walk dogs, and then you also do how do you say this? Do you also sell shampoos for cats, and now you do some other stuff. You gotta have some consistency. Okay, you have to be congruent across the whole website. Another thing you need to do on your website, you need to set up goals. Goals are very important. What is exactly that you want to do? What is exactly what that your website can do for you? Okay, you got to set up those goals. How many visitors do you want to bring to your website? Where's that traffic coming from? How many of those visitors are you going to convert to sales or subscriptions or appointments or phone calls? So you need to have some things in place in your website, like a pixel from Facebook, or it's called Chrome Analytics from Google that you can install in your website. That's gonna give you a great report on who's coming to your website. Is it just a lot of males or a lot of females? Where are they coming from? Are they accessing your website through a desktop? Are they accessing through phones? Right now, most of your traffic is going to come from mobile devices. And so it is important to you to understand where these people are coming from, because if you get 99% or 95%, which is very common now, of your traffic is coming from mobile devices, then your website needs to be designed mostly for mobile devices so that it looks great on a mobile device instead of a desktop. Or if a lot of people are coming to a desktop instead, we'll make it more equivalently to people who are visiting through a laptop or a desktop computer. That is very important. All these things count. So these are pointers, or these are points that you start stacking up against your competition, and the one that has the most is going to be the one who's going to win. And you might think that these things are, things that don't matter, but they actually do. Okay, they actually do matter. Okay, so you got to have something in place that is measurable. Like I said, your Chrome Analytic, you have to put that in there. If you don't know how to do it, you can hire a website developer or someone who has some technical skills with websites, and they can install that for you so that you can start getting some report on your website. Okay, another thing that I want you to ask yourself is my website up to date? This is a very simple thing. You need to make sure that your website looks great on a computer, desktop, or a laptop, and it also it has to look great on a tablet, and a mobile device. It's even better because right now people are always on their phone. They're going to access your website through a mobile device. Wherever they are, you send them information. They're at lunch, or they're in a little break, or they're in their office. They're usually sitting in front of the computer, but they're if they're going to check out your information, they're going to do it through their phones. So it's very important for you to know that your website is actually is responsive. It's a responsive website, meaning that it will look well in a desktop computer, a laptop, or mobile device. Okay, another question I want you to ask is my website up to date? Meaning, is the information in my website current? Is that the phone number that I'm using right now? Is that the email address that I want people to contact me to do it? Is that the right address? Is that the are my hours of work that I have on my website the correct hours? Or do I need to change them? Or do I have a document that's outdated that I want people to download it and it's outdated, and you need to update this information? A picture needs to be updated. Maybe you have a picture that, you updated a picture maybe 5-7 years ago. Well, like me, it took me maybe 5 years to grow this beard. Well, if I have a picture of me with no beard, and then I meet people, they can feel a little awkward, So, if you have a new look, or you just want to rebrand yourself, make sure that you have a new picture of yourself, new pictures of your staff, things that are current. Okay, if you change location, maybe new pictures of a new location. Maybe Is it that you guys don't have a new a person that was there 3 years ago and it was the manager, and now you have a new manager? Make sure you have the current information from your staff and information where people can contact you. That is so key, that you have this kind of information updated. So it's a very quick thing you do. You just go to your website, do a little rundown through that website and look at your phone number, your information, pictures, things, documents that you want to people to upload to their computers, and make sure they're up to date, because people will hate it if they show up to your office on Saturday, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, because your website says that you work on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then they get there at 5, and now you're not working that time, or you're probably not even working on Saturdays. They show up, you just make them waste their time, so it is important for you to have this kind of information current and available to them. Okay guys, so that's my advice to you today, and being intentional with your website. There's a lot more things that I would like to talk to you about in other videos, but one thing I want to say, sometimes we underestimate things that we're not paying for a lot of money for. Okay, we tend to, if we're paying something very minimal, we don't tend to try to get the most out of it when we have something very powerful. Just like, let me give you an example, a toothbrush. Okay? A lot of people, it's a very cheap thing, and sometimes because it's there and it's $1 or something, sometimes they don't even use it. Okay, but at the end of 3 months, when they have a cavity, now they have to pay $800 for the cavity, and the time for being in a dental office, then it becomes very valuable. So the same thing with your website. If you're not using it correctly, if you're not keeping it up to date, if you're not doing these evaluations, if you don't have an intention with your website, it could become something that will harm you at the end of the day, because you're gonna have websites who are outdated, wrong information. It seems like there's no intention, they're super cluttered, and then people are just gonna click out of your website. It's gonna cost you money. You're probably paying a service or a maintenance for that website. Maybe it's $25, or maybe it's $10, it's $3, whatever it is that you're paying. But you gotta look at it as the point from, if people are clicking out of your website and not even calling you, or people are not interested because when they land your website, it's very hard for them to understand your message, then that is like losing money. You're basically losing money every day. So it's important for you to keep this website up to date. Being intentional with your website is important. It's a tool. If you do not use it, if you do not sharpen it every now and then it becomes more of an expense than an investment. So you want to have a good ROI on your website, and for that you need to have a website that looks great, that it has a very clear message, and that is doing what exactly you want them to do. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you can watch my next video, and see you there. Bye-bye. Oh, and yes, please do not forget to subscribe, okay, and hit that bell so that you can get notifications when I'm bringing you more tips like this for your website or your social media. I think you would get a lot of value from this. That's my intention. And if you have any questions, please leave some comments down below. I would love to be in touch with you and answer any questions you might have. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. See you in the next video. Bye. Okay, not only in the area of being up to date on it's called the design of the website, but also on the content that you have. You got to make sure that your website has up-to-date information.